Hello everyone. Previously we saw how to design a exception class by making use of the singleton design pattern. So today we'll see how to design money splitter. So let's understand the question first. I'll just explain what are all the things that need to be done. Then let's try to implement the same thing in the form of code, right? So the first thing here, what they have given here. So design a money splitter system where users can split bills evenly or unevenly, right? So here again I'm telling design a money splitter system where users can split bills evenly or unevenly. First thing we have to keep in mind, users can split bills evenly or unevenly. The second thing, the system keeps track of individual contributions and debts between users. So that's what we need to keep in mind. So the second thing is the system keeps track of individual contributions and debts between users. The third one and the important one, it includes the functionality to settle the balances as well. So these three things we have to keep in mind. So I'll just explain what are all the things that we need to consider, and then let's try to implement the same thing in the form of code, right? So here, first thing that we need to keep in mind here is the system should calculate the share of each participant in a transaction. Here they have clearly mentioned um, users can split bills evenly or unevenly, right? So the first thing is we know that we have to mainly the system should calculate the share of each participant in a transaction. This is the first thing that we need to consider. This is very important. Second thing is we have to allow flexibility for uneven splits. So they have clearly mentioned here users can split bills evenly or unevenly. So we have to allow the flexibility for the uneven splits as well. And the final one is we have to include the operations for adding transactions and calculating debts, right? So that's what they have given. That's what we need to consider. Final one, we have to include operations for adding the transactions and calculating debts, right? So these three we have to keep in mind. So I hope this is clear. So let's try to implement the same thing in the form of code. So first thing, so we are designing a money splitter, right? So I'll just consider the class money splitter. So here within the money splitter class, let me define the constructor. So inside the constructor, so we have to store the user as well as the balance, right? Particular user, and we have to store the balance of that user as well. So I'll just go with the key value pair, nothing but we'll be making use of the map here. I hope whenever we are going with user and balance key and the value pair, we'll go with the it's better to make use of the hash map, right? So I'll just give here balances. I'll just set this one to the new map. So I hope this is fine. Next, we'll be making use of certain methods here. So we'll be going with three methods. One is add transaction, and the second one is get balances, and finally, as I have said during the explanation, we have to go with the settle balance as well. So initially, let's see the method add transaction. I'll just give here add transaction. Within this method, let me pass the parameter payer amount participants, and let me set the splits to empty array initial. We are initializing the splits to empty array, right? So within this one, let me quickly write the simple if condition here. So if length of the splits uh, if it is equal to 0, then what we will do, let's go with let's let a share equals we'll go with this formula, basically amount by length of the participants, nothing but I'll just give here length of the participant. This is fine. We will also set the splits to array of length of the participants, right? Again, I'll just give here participants.len, and let's fill the array with the shares. I mean, we have considered here share right here. Yeah, this one share will be passing basically. Yeah, let me give share here. So I hope this condition is completely clear. I mean, yeah, this is simple if condition, right? So then let's go with the for each here. Let me give here participants dot for each. We need individual participant, right? So I'll just give here participant comma hey. So here let me write the simple if condition. If not of balances dot has, so this one participant is what we have considered. So I'll just pass the participant, then we will update by making use of the set property, nothing but participant, and it will be 0 if the participant is not there. Then we will be setting the balance to 0, right? So that's what we'll be doing here. So we have to update by making use of the set property. I'll just give here this dot balances dot set. Here let me pass the participant and also 0. I hope this is clear. And the next line here, this dot balances dot set. Here within the set, what I'll do, we are again this one, right, updating right here by making use of the set property. I'll just pass the participant here, along with we have to get the value as well. So nothing but the value of each participant, right? So how can we get that? I'll just give here this dot balances. For to get the value, we'll be making use of the get property. I'll just give here, let's pass the participant, and nothing but minus splits, iterated value of the splits. So this is fine. So the next step is I'll just write the last if condition, which is very important. So again, if not of this dot balances, if not has, so if there is no pair, so that's what we are trying to write here, has pair, then what we will do, we will set the we will update the balance to basically 0 along with the pair. So how can we write this one? I'll just give here balances. For updating, I'll just make use of the set. Let me pass here pair and the value 0. So this is fine. Finally, balances dot set, nothing but we are updating again here. Let me pass the pair and the value as well. So for the value, I'll just give here balances getter. Let me pass the pair here, plus let me pass the amount. This is fine, right? I'll just come out of this one. Let me format the document once so that this looks good. I'll just come out of this method, add transaction method entirely. So the second method, as we had discussed earlier, let's go with the get balances. So I'll just give here get balances. So this is simple. Basically what we'll do within the get balances, let's return. I'll just make use of the spread operator here. I'll just go with balances entries. Basically we'll be writing in this format, right? Balances dot entries. So here let's map this one. So within the array, I'll just consider user as well as the balance. So I'll just give here balance. So we are mapping here, right? So I'll just give user as well as balance. So I hope this is clear. I missed something here. I don't know what I missed. Just give me a second here. So yeah, I'll do one thing. Let me pass one more parenthesis here. Here also, let me pass the parenthesis. So what mistake I did here? Just give me a second here. So yeah, here this has to be user, not the user activation. So this is fine. This has considered user, and this has to be not the balance here. So this one has to be just balance. So now this is working properly, right? This is it for the get balance. So let me this one format this one once, and the final one is, as we had discussed earlier, it will be going with the set balances method or set balance. Let's go with the set balance. So I'll just pass the parameters user1, user2, and amount. This is fine. Let me go with simple if condition. I'll just give here this dot balances dot has. Let's check for user1 first. So I'll just go with user1, then uh, has user1, or let's go with not of this dot balances dot has, whether we'll check whether we have the user2 key, then we will return false, right? So within settle balance, what we are doing, so here if we don't have the user1 key or the user2 key, then we'll be returning false. So after this one, let's update the value. This is simple. I'll just give here balances dot set. What are all the things that we need to pass here? User1, and we have to get the value for the user1, right? So if we have the this one key for the user1, then we'll be going with the user1, and we have to get the value as well. I'll just give here start balances data user1. Let's pass this one and minus amount. Let me give here minus amount. This is fine. Let me copy the same thing and make the necessary changes in next line for the user2. So I'll just give here user2. Here instead of user1, again this will be user2, and finally instead of subtracting, we'll just be adding here. I'll just make use of the plus addition operator, right? Plus operator, sorry. So finally we will return true. This is fine, right? So this is it. So I'll just format the document once. So here we have made use of the add transaction, get balance, as well as the settle balance method, right? So this is it for the this is the code for the mainly money splitter. So let's see the test case or the usage now. Let's just give here test case. So let me come here and give test case. So I'll just make use of the variable name splitter. Just give here new money splitter. This is fine. Did I do anything wrong here? Just give me a second here. This is fine. In the next line, what I'll do, I'll just make use of the splitter, the variable name we have used in the previous line, and let's call the add transaction method. Within this one, let me give give the name within the strings, nothing but Bharadwaj, and the 100 some random value, and here within the array let's pass Bharadwaj 2 here. This one, let me make this one as Bharadwaj 1 here. This is fine. Bharadwaj 2, and finally let me pass here one more name within the strings. I'll just give here Bharadwaj 3. This is fine. So we are just splitting evenly here in this line, right? In the line number 50, we are just splitting evenly. Next, we have to get the balances of balance after the transaction, right? For that one, I'll just quickly log here. Let me quickly log here to get the balance. I'll just make use of the splitter along with I just call the get balances method here. So this is just the balances after the transaction. I would have given balance. It's fine. This is nothing but the balances after the transaction. So I'll just make use of the splitter again. We have to settle the partial debt, right? So how can we do that? I'll just give you a splitter dot. Let's make use of the settle balance. So we have to settle the partial debt. So we have already written the settle balance method here. So I'll just pass the same thing here, and let me pass. Just give me a second here. Bharadwaj 2 along with Bharadwaj 1 here. And also, let me give some random value here. Let's consider 20, right? Finally, we have to update all the balances, nothing but the updated balances, right? So I'll just give here console log of splitter. To get the balance, I'll just make use of get balances, nothing but this is updated balances, right? So I hope this is clear. So I'll just format this one once. I hope everything is clear. So initially we considered the money splitter class. Inside this one, we have defined the constructor. Basically, we just need this one. So we are storing here this one. Why we are making use of the map here? We have we are making use of the key value pair, right? So this one basically what it does here, why we are making use of map here is this one stores in the form of user and balance. So this is of the form of key and value. So that is the reason we'll be making use of the map here. So I hope this is clear. Then I have clearly explained by writing this one, add transaction method, get balances method, and settle balance method. I hope these three methods are completely clear. Then we are seeing the test case or the usage here finally. So I'll quickly come here and let's try to run the code. Let's see what output we get, right? So I'll just give here node. Let me copy this one, name dot file name dot js. So you can clearly see here. First, user Bharadwaj 2 balance minus 50 we are getting, which is absolutely correct. So Bharadwaj 3 balance minus 50. So and finally balance this one Bharadwaj 1 100. So we can clearly see here, right? Balance. And finally this one, second one, we are getting the user Bharadwaj 2, Bharadwaj 3 and Bharadwaj 1, basically balance minus 70, minus 50 and 120, which is absolutely correct, right? So this is it. So I hope this one is completely clear. Designing a money splitter is completely clear. So next we will be designing a notification service. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.